Good morning. So I'm just going to do a super short reading from, this is a different book this time, and it's called The Book of Joy, and it's by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. So here's the book cover. And this was a gift to me, and I haven't read through the whole thing, so I can't give a proper overview. But slowly but surely, I'm reading it, and I just find the book title to be so lovely. And there are a select few people that have the nickname for me Dalai Lama. Dalai. Somehow like a handful of people spontaneously made that connotation. So that was random. So I earmarked this, but also a little one of those things that I stick in the books came out, and it's a scripture, and it is Psalms 139, verse 14, and that is, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and so are you. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so this is just the beginning of chapter 3, I think, and the title of it is Humor. Laughter, joking is much better. It's an interesting title of a paragraph or chapter. Sorry, I'm rushing a little bit, but deep breath. Okay. One of the most stunning aspects of the week was how much it was spent laughing. At times, the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop seemed to be as much as a comedy duo as two venerable spiritual teachers. It is their ability to joke and laugh and poke fun at the ordinary pieties that so righteously violates expectation. When a Dalai Lama and an Archbishop walk into a bar, you don't expect them to be the ones cracking the jokes. Having worked with many spiritual leaders, I'm tempted to see laughter and a sense of humor as a universal index of spiritual development. The Archbishop and the Dalai Lama were certainly at the top of that index, and they skewered humbug, status, injustice, and evil, all with the power of humor. They and everyone around them were constantly guffawing, chortling, giggling, and belly laughing throughout the week, as moments of great levity were spliced together with moments of profundity and sanctity. So often their first response to any subject, no matter how seemingly painful, was to laugh. It was clear that humor was central to their joyful way of being, but why was laughter so central? I worked with a Mexican shaman once, I said, introducing the topic. He said that laughing and crying are the same thing. Laughter just feels better. It's clear that laughter is central to the way that you are in the world. And the Archbishop was just saying, Your Holiness, that you laugh at something that could ordinarily be a source of anguish. That's right, that's right. Can you tell us about the role of laughter and humor in the cultivation of joy? I think I'm going to leave this video on that question, and I'm going to ask the question again. And it can be a point to ponder, it can be something you're welcome to sort of reflect in answer to me or in your own video maybe. And there's obviously much more to this chapter, but I said I'd keep it short. So, can you tell us about the role of laughter and humor in the cultivation of joy? So what is the role of laughter and humor in the cultivation of joy? And what is joy? What is joy? Where do you get joy? Where does your joy come from? So that's a couple of things to think about. And yeah, and just one thing that I'm thinking of now is how how at times, how at times humor has been so life-saving almost, Um, in the darkest of times, there are little things that can still make you like, just have a half a laugh even. And that sort of alleviates pain for that moment. And I think the humor is also an interesting way to connect to people and to share with them and to be able to sort of be with one another in a way that um, is not as uncomfortable as it would be without humor, or the ability to create humor, I suppose. But anyway, so what role does humor and laughter play in the cultivation of joy, and what are the ways that we can cultivate joy? What is joy for you? Where does that come from? If you were to play a part in the cultivation of joy, what would that be? How would you do it? And think of participation, think of the meaning, think of, well, when do you feel joy in your life? Try and identify that. And also, I can't not thank God here because of the joy that He gives as a blessing, and the ability to be able to experience joy. And in Him we can find joy. And there's another, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, Philippians 4 verse 4 is rejoice in the Lord always. And that is something that is really difficult to do at times. In your darkest times you kind of don't feel like rejoicing, but it is actually something that is super, super helpful, and can definitely sort of make you feel less alone. It can make you feel like there is hope. It can also make you feel like, okay, things are not so bad. God's got me. I'm rejoicing in Him. I'm, a part of that relationship, and so that continues. But there's always, and by that same token, there's always a reason to rejoice, or there's always something to be grateful for. And to have a gratitude practice as well is so, so important. If you can't be grateful, you're kind of cutting off a lot of things from flowing into your life. And then just as a last little to think about is the combination of receiving and giving. Not giving and taking, not taking and holding, not the receiving and giving. And those two, how do they flow? How does it work? In what order? What is that is receiving and giving? And I kind of want to just carry on talking. But is that not something to do with creating or stepping into an atmosphere of, or curating perhaps, an atmosphere of generosity in which there's an openness sort of, or an opening made and space made, room made, in order for grace to come flowing through and into and in between and permeate and grow, and that can lead to even better things. So yeah, I just want to end off with saying that joy is on the horizon, and there will be joy in the morning. In other words, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you're going through a tough time right now and you think, oh, how will I ever feel joy? Sometimes it's not all about your feelings. And I think joy is not necessarily a feeling. I think it's more of a sort of, yes, you experience it, but it's almost like an elevated way of experiencing reality in some sense, not fully, but that needs to be a little bit developed on my side. But yeah, if we didn't have joy, I think like we wouldn't be here. If we couldn't implement some type of joy into each other's lives, I don't think we'd get on very well, or yeah, or even get on with ourselves enough, or even feel like we can stand up properly. But I don't want to get tangential. I think I already did. But I feel inspired. I hope you do too. If not, find something that inspires you. And I encourage you to create something that also makes you feel inspired, and inspired enough to share with others, because you matter, and more than that, you are worthy, and you are loved, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And just let that sink in, and just know love is key. And also, with decisions that you make and words that you choose to speak, and just perhaps thoughts that you can incorporate, and just a suggestion and a recommendation is choose life, and think, keep faith alive, and don't give up. Giving up is not an option. Keep on keeping on, and know that you are not alone, and there's always something to be grateful for. Okay, ciao.